Fifth point here to wrap up this week's session. So if you're a DKI subscriber, been following Gary for some time, Las Vegas Sands, ticker LVS, has been a current recommendation for some time now. Our fifth point today, problems at WYNN, so WYNN Resorts, not evident at LVS, Las Vegas Sands.
Yeah, so Las Vegas Sands has been a great stock pick for us. We've made a ton of money in this, and a recent options trade is we're up, depending on the day, between 50 and 70% in an options trade. We've been in for about 6-7 weeks. Please do not annualize that. Everything we do is not going to make you 50% in a month and a half. But it's worked out really well. And so WYNN, which is a competitor to Las Vegas Sands, announced earnings last week. The week before. It was a Friday, I think. And there was some disappointment about the performance in one of their Macau casinos. And that caused the stock to be down. It was down more than 10% at one point during the day, and ended the day down almost 6%, and pulled Las Vegas Sands down with it. And the reason, again, is people were worried about performance in Macau. And occasionally the market gets things wrong. Like in general, the people who follow these things are pretty smart, and they know these companies, and they know the way they work and interact. And, the market in general tends to get things right. This was one where the market completely got it wrong. And the reason is because the prior week, Las Vegas Sands had reported earnings, and results in Macau were fantastic. I think they've had 4 casinos that were announcing record RevPAR, that is revenue per available room. They're getting record rates there per available room. This is, I don't mean since COVID, I mean all time. The property level EBITDA, earnings before interest, depreciation, taxes, and amortization in Macau for Las Vegas Sands is closing in on the levels they were at pre-pandemic. And so we have evidence that Las Vegas Sands is very well positioned in Macau and performing well there. And so, if WYNN has problems at one of their casinos, it shouldn't be an issue. And so, our friends over at Inside Asian Gaming, and they do a phenomenal job covering the world's largest gaming markets. They put up an incredible chart. And what it shows, hang on, yeah, WYNN is the one in red. What it shows is from the third quarter of 2019 to last quarter, WYNN's market share has fallen from 14.2% to 13.4%. So they've lost almost 1% market share. The same time, Las Vegas Sands has gone from 23.2% to 26.9%, meaning they've gained almost 4 percentage points of share. So the market got upset and worried that things weren't going well at WYNN. Okay, let me give you another way to think about it. Things weren't going well at WYNN because Las Vegas Sands is taking share from WYNN. Las Vegas Sands is gaining market share at the expense of its competitors, at the expense of WYNN. Now, I think WYNN is a good company. I think they're well managed. I'm not criticizing them in any way. But right now in Macau, Las Vegas Sands is outperforming them and taking share from them. So problems at WYNN are not indicative of a problem at Las Vegas Sands. It's actually a marker for how well Las Vegas Sands is positioned to compete in the world's largest gaming market. And, they're gaining share there now. And so, we continue to like that position a lot. I have a huge position in it in my personal account. And then, as I mentioned, we've owned some options where we've done really well as well.
What's the catalyst for that movement in market share for LVS?
So it's a couple of things. One, they've built really well. Las Vegas Sands is constantly expanding, and they've had multi-billion-dollar projects. And so that's part of it. But the big thing is WYNN caters to the VIP gambler, right? These are the whales, the people who are gambling sometimes millions of dollars on individual hands. They get flown in on private jets. And, it's an exciting business because each individual customer, each individual VIP can be responsible for huge amounts of profit. But there are 2 problems. One is the VIP market is not as profitable. The margins on that business, it's more profitable for each individual, but the margins on that business are much lower. And so that's part of it. The other thing is the VIP gambler has not been eager to return to Macau, and they've been much, much more cautious. Whereas The mass market and the premium mass, maybe people are spending $100, $200, $300 per hand. That much more profitable market, they are racing back to the casinos with what Howard J. Klein, DKI's gaming advisor, refers to as pent-up bankroll. They haven't been able to gamble for a few years, and so they've got money saved up. And Rob, do you remember 2 years ago when in the United States they started using the term revenge travel?
Oh yeah.
Right? People had been locked in their homes for a couple of years.
Right.
The minute they felt safe to get out, that we are going to travel, we're going places, people started spending a fortune on vacations and travel and experiences. Well, in China, they're revenge gambling right now.
Right.
But that's very much a mass market phenomenon. And so that's where Las Vegas Sands is really well positioned. They are loaded up with tons and tons of rooms to cater to the mass and premium mass market. And so Sands is focused on the very profitable part of the market that's growing, where there's pent up bankroll. And Wynn is, to their detriment right now, focused much more on the high end VIP market. And that's just a weaker market right now. Now, could that change in the future? Sure. And again, I'm not criticizing Wynn or their management. They have a vision, and they do things the way they do, but there's a reason that Las Vegas Sands is hugely outperforming Wynn right now.
Macau as a whole too. So I know China with COVID and pandemic regulations was a little bit slower to ease. Everything eased at this point in Macau. I know with the IAG group, they keep close tabs on that, but can you highlight for anyone that might be unfamiliar about that particular market, just in terms of the ability to travel, right? The ability to game, etc.
Yeah. So the US opened much more quickly than China did. And so Vegas did horribly in 2020. But, there was a point in 2021 where the market recovered and people, they just wanted to be out. And so Las Vegas started putting up record numbers, I think in, 2021, I think as early as that. China stayed locked down for the better part of 3 years and didn't really start to fully reopen until January of this year. So they've been much more slow to respond to this. And, the Chinese gambler is following the example of the US gambler and starting to return to Macau and size. Again, it was either 3 or 4 of Sands casinos with record levels, all-time highs in revenue per available room. And so, we are rapidly heading for occupancy and revenue and EBITDA levels in Macau, at least at Las Vegas Sands properties, that should soon start to exceed the pre-COVID numbers. The company's always been very shareholder friendly, and they've already reinstated the dividend and stock buybacks, and they have enough cash on hand to fund all of the expansion projects that they're working on, including a massive expansion, a 4th tower and a concert arena at the Marina Bay Sands in Singapore, which is, one of the world's most profitable buildings in the gaming world.
I'm sure it's incredible.
Yeah. The photos are amazing. Yeah.
Great. So that wraps up everything for this week's 5 things. As Gary mentioned, if you head to deepknowledgeinvesting.com, hit subscribe now. There's a free option. You'll be subscribed to weekly newsletter, receive this in your inbox. And obviously would love if there's consideration for a premium subscription as well. We want to thank everybody watching. Thank all of our premium subscribers at DKI. Gary, any closing thoughts?
No, Rob, thanks. I appreciate doing this with you.
It's been fun. Yeah, let's keep it going.
All right. Looking forward to seeing you guys next week.
Thanks, everyone.
And wait, next week I will be filming from the Philippines.
That's right.
Heading to Manila this weekend. And so we will be doing this internationally. Looking forward to seeing you from the other side of the world.
Sounds good. I'll hold down the fort.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks, everyone.